Yo guys, today we are building Reddit search tool. I'm Łukasz and I work as a Gen AI engineer. Why I want to build this tool? Because each time I go on some drive-through, I would like to listen to something, get some fresh news, try to catch up with all models or kind of things. And typically what I do is I go through Reddit posts and I look what people post about and so on. Big shout out to Local Llama, which is best community for it, in my opinion. So what I thought about is I will do a tool that basically go through my favorite Reddits, get the top posts from a day, put it through LLM to organize it, and then I will feed it into NotebookLM to get custom podcasts built just for me for what I read about. And I can optimize each step along the way. And then further, we will make it so we can generate it and send it, for example, through Telegram to your phone. So the moment you wake up and you go to the car, you have podcasts already on your phone that you can click to download. Maybe we'll also automate it later to download it automatically. And then you basically are good to go. Because I live in Belgium and I need Waze or I will get tickets because we have like 200 cameras everywhere for no reason sometimes. And if I try to listen to podcasts on Spotify or something, my wonderful car UX, it's of course electric car, will make the GPS not work and me getting tickets. So that's what we want to prevent. So first, we'll start with a quick overview. So first thing that I prepared for you guys is to how to install everything. Last time we do it differently. I type everything, but because now we have more packages, we will use UV. It was not introduced, but it's what I use for my job typically. So we can do just UV sync. Now we see all of the packages get installed. It's dependencies that are stored here. We also have in UVlog all other packages versions saved. We have Python version and so on. So by doing this, I created virtual environment that we can see here. And now if I go to select interpreter, I already have Reddit post check environment. So super simple, yeah? Yes, and then what we need to do is we need to create our credentials. So for Reddit, we can go to this link, which I have open here. Oops, I spoiler something. So when you go to this link, you log in on your account and you need to create basically this application, yeah, to have your own bot. And then you just click create app. You can easily chat GPT if you have any issues here, and then you need to put the client ID and secret key that you get. Also, I configured Logfire, that it's optional. It's for monitoring that you'll see later. It's under this link. Yeah, and actually we'll also, why I don't see, oh, voila, I deleted it by mistake. So we also will use Google Gemini API key. Why? Because if we go here, we have a free tier that we could use to get started. Basically, we will go through this link. Here is like also documentation that is linked, and we can just get our API key. Maybe let's do it quickly. Name your API key, Reddit. Yeah, good to go. Create project, test, create project. It will take a few seconds. Yeah, and then we create key. And boom, and we have key that we can click and copy and just copy paste it here. So that's a really quick overview, and also the repo and everything that you see here will be on the GitHub repo, of course, without my environmental variable. Yeah, Gar's guarded it. There is also a quick introduction, but before I jump to it, I wanted to talk about something important. So in the last video, if you show it, I talk about learning agentic AI and why I like NUNG course. If you don't want to know why, you can check the link in the video. But basically, it's good to learn how you do things from a scratch. For example, I built this tool by vibe coding first because I wanted to check Pydantic AI. So I read some documentation and then built agent and so on. And out of it, there comes some interesting things. So basically, this is the code that I do. So I look through I create agent with two tools that I need to find somewhere. Yeah. So I created agent and I give it two tools, get top post today and get post with nested comments. So it basically give you post and so on, and agents will call it. But then interesting things happen because the workflow of it was that we first check environmental variables, initialize everything, but then we create dependencies container, which is specific for Pydantic AI, but I only use agent here and their observability tool, which is Logfire, so you can use really whatever, write it in Python and so on. I just wanted to play with it for future videos. And then we get all posts from subreddits with a call, and then we call again to get comments. So we do two API calls. Now, to see it on our infrastructure, that's how it looks like. So basically, we have user query. So I want to get the post from somewhere. We then get first API call with AI agent to receive user query, decide which tool to use, and so on. So we do already something that costs us quite a lot of tokens. Then we get the tool. Then we make another call to get the nested comments. And why we do it? Because even before that, I tried to do both at the same time. But what I realize is if I don't use like new biggest models and so on, the smaller models actually don't manage to call both tools. Of course, you can optimize prompts, tool description, and everything. But the point is that it takes time, it's expensive, and so on. So then what I try to do is to do it by each step separately, which works better. But then it was super costly because I do basically 3 calls because I need to do 2 calls to use a tool. Then I need to do a final call to like do summary or not and get all the links. And this example is, for example, here, this is what I get when I use it. So I get links and so on. Maybe we can try one to see if it works. Yep, it works. And then some summary. Also, the funny part, when I tested it, which we can now check, this is the Logfire, which is not very that important, but what is important is how much we use. So when I do it with like just one call and I use ChatGPT 5, I burned like, this is 2 calls because, no, this is actually 1. So this is the call when I use 2 tools at the same time, like in one call. So this managed to do that, but I use like 18 cents. And as you can see, it lasted 200 seconds, which is pretty long. Also, then I switched from ChatGPT because there's free tier of Google, so why not use this? And also, they are doing quite good with models, in my opinion, even though they are not that popular as ChatGPT. So then I do another run. This is with 2 steps. So as we can see with Gemini model, it's in total takes 80 seconds with a small trick because on the free tier you can only do 2 calls. So I got on the limit, so I do sleep await to basically wait till I make another call to not approach limit. But the time is just from the execution. So here we use, for sure, much less money. That's first thing. Also, we use a bit more tokens here because this call was when I put less post, basically, and I didn't want to rerun it and so on. So and so this was these 2 calls, which is let's come back to the picture. which is this architecture. So actually it's 2 and 3. Sometimes it's triggered, sometimes it's triggered like in a one call. It really depends. But yeah, what we see, we do multiple AI calls. We are wasting tokens, and we do it sequentially, so it takes more time also. So that's what like kind of vibe coding and so on gives me. But then I thought, but why we do it actually? Because we can do it completely different. So for example, we use API to fetch links, documents, and comments from Reddit. So I thought like maybe NotebookLM just can get these references and generate me everything without even doing API call. And it was true. So, and it's like literally cost you nothing because you don't need to pay for anything, and it's so much quicker. So I do direct approach, which is just fetch the post, then fetch the comments for post, then I save it as raw data to file. But because we do AI, I also added the AI call to make summary, because then I could check if the summary works better. For example, what I do is like there was a lot of posts about some political, for example, AI stuff, and I'm not interested into listening into it. So I can use AI call to basically go through posts and let it decide what is interesting to me to learn about AI, to learn about new models and so on. So yeah, as we can see, there are a lot of benefits to this because it's faster, cheaper, and the AI call is actually optional. So we don't even need AI at this point to do it. And also, yeah, we don't need to use pro models. So we can really do it with any model because it will like just maybe find less references and so on. But like if we use tools, if we use like cheap or fast models to, for example, have different clients, then it's like not really giving you the same results each time. Sometimes it will decide to call these tools, sometimes not. So it's really random, which I don't like. So this is the strategy that I wanted to basically discuss before we dive into the third podcast. So this is code that I rewrote. So I will go from top. So these 3 lines basically define that the log file will be authenticated, and then in terminal you just get tools, but it's optional to use it. I use it because I have this nice information about my experiments, and also if I leave it, there are costs, but maybe if you are guys interested, we can do it later. And this is, for example, this code execution, so it takes 45 seconds and use only 0.07 cents, even though it's free, so I don't use actually anything, but it calculates cost, which is pretty nice because typically it's very hard to find, depending on the provider and so on. So I added enum, which is filter, so we can specify here if we want day, week, month, year, or all, and so on. Then I specified subreddits because like doing API call just to extract name of subreddit and number of posts is in my idea pretty dumb, and if you want to make it reliably, we can just use something like this. Then I have how many of the comments can we get from post, the replies per comment, and fetch posts, so how many posts we can maximally fetch. Then I define model here, and my system prompt. So you are Reddit research analyst, analyze the provided Reddit post and comment based on specific criteria. Your task, topic analysis, identify most interesting topics on the user criteria, select best comments that add value, extract notable insights and trends. If you find conflicting opinions, highlight them, summarize your findings and provide only URL link to post, and aggregate insights so they are not repeated multiple times. So yeah, because sometimes different Reddits have the same posts from people who post everywhere, so you want to avoid it. And then I do but it really could be upgraded. I also don't change parameters of the model because we'll do it later and this video will take like hours. So then we just have user prompt. So I want to look for most insightful posts and comments that would enrich my knowledge as AI engineer, look for new AI models, performance benchmarks, ideas for projects, novel ideas, techniques around AI. This should be that. And then I create dependency container. This is related to Pydantic AI, but you can do it with any framework you want. I just use Pydantic because I like when we can get structure format from AI, and also they seem to have pretty good, pretty well written code around their library. So I will test them and basically check things, but you can still write everything yourself, or you like just do API call and so on and use these tools. So then we fetch the top posts from today. Actually, not only today, but because if we change it, but yeah, that's what I named this function. So we have limit. We basically get the titles, scores, comments, subreddits, content preview, print it and put it back, and then we fetch posts and so on. So I already ran it, but let's maybe run it also while I'm speaking, so you guys see that it actually works. Let's put this. Okay, so here we see that I'm starting to, that I fetched posts from 6 subreddits, and now I'm fetching comments. So will we go through it? Let's go a bit down. So yeah, this is the agent using Pydantic. So my system prompts and the dependencies that were at the beginning. So Reddit client and HTTP client. I use everything in async because it's faster. And we don't want to wait because you can then make multiple calls at the same time and so on. So we want everything in async, basically. And I go here through each step. So I load dependencies, I fetch all posts, I fetch all comments, then I save raw data. So we can already see that the data is saved here. So basically, I have post content, then I have top 8 comments with some nested comments if they are, with likes and so on as emojis in this case. I'm still not sure if it's better for the model or not. I don't test it like in quite detail, but as we can see, actually we get over 1,200 posts. And if I go, this is actually a nice post that is nice. So for example, Stanford just dropped 5.5 hours worth of lectures on foundational LM knowledge. So something good for us, so which is pretty nice. And so here we get all the links and the comments with a link. So actually the links are repeated, kind of, but why not? I do to provide everything. And then if we, here we see already that summary get completed. So if I go here, we can see that we have AI analysis report, we have subreddits, which model we use, which filter we use, date, post analyzed. So like, honestly, there is also like markdown files for readability. Can we actually quickly preview it here? No. Control-Shift-B. It doesn't work on this, so I will need to make it as MD. Maybe let's try to do it quickly. Will it be more readable for us? Yeah. And now open preview. Okay. So here we see the posts, sources. We have some key insights here. For example, Apple Silicon potential that I talked about like last time. And because they have new chips that are pretty nice for local inference, but it's not a topic for this. So by going back to it, I generated this experiment, and also if I go here, I see it was even faster. So it was 38 seconds. We use 25,000 tokens on input and then 3,000 on output. And if we compare, let's see. So raw data have 1,200 lines, actually 60, and then the analysis, I will not find it because I make it into MD. Actually, but it's 96 lines. So we reduce the amount of things, so we could apply like a system prompt, actually user prompt, because system prompt I decided, and it should stay the same. But we can play with system prompt, we can play with user prompt. for free, make a calls, and then see what kind of news we get and so on. I play with it a bit, so I like checked, for example, how many posts we could get on all these subreddits and so on. For example, if there are no like posts with like few likes that are maybe about some random information not very important to us, and then I reduce the number of posts that we will retrieve. So yeah, and also what I do, not fully, but quite, because if you try to feed it into LLM, it's best that you delete anything that you don't need. So like, for example, repeatable links, I would delete. If I want to optimize it for speed, I would delete for example, here, the editing of MD. Why? Because it's like feeding more tokens to the model, which make it a bit slower and also reduce the capabilities. So if you want to feed it into LLM, you should really compact it and put only the important information there. But because I put also like these things for myself and for test, I leave it like this. We will update it later. And then we quickly jump to NotebookLM. If you never use it, you basically click add and then you update sources. So I updated the analysis before, so we don't wait now. And you can ask questions here like, what is the most valuable information about AI? And we can see what it do. And also we have many options. So you can update more documents, you can talk to these documents. So it's like basically rack in your web browser. And here we can see foundation technical knowledge. So yeah, actually information about this lecture. And this is give us directly link to our file, and then we can go to this. It also, so that's exactly here. And also like it got YouTube link, which is pretty nice. So we can go straight into it. We can play podcast. For example, this is the podcast.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a massive stack of community discussions and really getting right down to the ground level. What does it actually take to build, train, and run these cutting-edge LLMs?
So you can build podcast here. You can specify what you want, adjust language, put your prompt here. I use everything on default because we'll play with it later. There is also a new option, which is video overview, which is kind of interesting. So you can basically watch podcasts, but also with a video overview. So yeah, I will maybe not watch it into the car, but
it's a $4,000 machine, part of their super high-end line.
Yeah, it's pretty basic, but also pretty neat that you can do it for free on any
prices
account.
And actual performance leads us.
So it's like slides, kind of. You can also do reports. I actually never tried. That you can do blog posts and so on. So a lot of things. You can do quiz, flashcards, which I don't click to not do resources, but you basically click here and it gets generated. This is actually pretty interesting. So like, for example, maybe I want to look at news from year, and I will have then created the mind map. And for example, what we could go into, what I'm interested about. This we talk already about, research topics, maybe hardware and cost. And then we see that there was talks about DGX Spark because they put it literally. Then we see like, use less for high latency tasks, target audience AI developers. A lot of people thought it will be inference engine, but it's basically for engineers to work on the NVIDIA architecture in like small box, and then they can put it on the real servers. So there are many limitations like the memory bandwidth and so on. So it's really more for training something, because then you have more VRAM for €3,000. And here, if you go, you can deep dive into it more. So ask the question. But we come for the podcast. So what we do with this podcast, we just can go download. And we see already that the podcast got updated, and we can put it on our phone or whatever. Yeah, so that will conclude what I wanted to show you. I don't show a lot of code that I wrote because then the video will take hours, but you can play with it, install it as you see super quickly from the GitHub repo. So what will be the next steps? So I actually automated a lot of things in my house. So I was engineer before, and I always wanted to have fully smart home. So I bought like some sensors and so on, figure out everything, connected it to mini PC with Home Assistant. Big shout out to them. Pretty cool idea. So now I want to create agents around it with like microphone that I will mount somewhere, so I can trigger all these agents automatically to basically save my time. So like in next series, we'll maybe improve this. Maybe we'll automate the NotebookLM because it have API, or we can add MCP as Reddit MCP as integration. So we have agent with MCP, which is so popular. We jump to another automations, like I talked in the beginning. We could send it automatically, generate the file, then send it over to Telegram or something, so we have it on our phone and so on. So yeah, if you guys were interested, I will appreciate if you have some guidance about what you want to see next. We'll build it. I try to build everything from scratch with a bit of explanation, but it's hard to put everything in the video to not make it too long. So this is just the beginning, and also I think that the architecture comparison is quite important. So like if you build something yourself, you always could sit and think because with all these AI tools, it's pretty easy to make really dumb things or very inefficient things. And for example, we can look into last thing. So at the beginning, the long code that I make was with it was working, but it was with Chat GPT-5. But I also do it so I can see the cost, and it was like 0.16 cents per one call. Now let's say I do it for a year, so it's 58 euro. And now let's see approximate cost of my solution. Also the Logfire that I use, it's on free tier, so you can also like use it for free, which is pretty cool. And this is like optimized solution, actually 0.6, so let's say 7 cents. So it's 58.4, so we do 0.7 by 365 days, but actually it's 0, but because it's free tier, so it's 25 euro. But if we subtract now of this, we see that this solution, we see that I can subtract. That's the first thing. 555 minus this. So we need like reduce the cost of this solution by like over 50%, which is pretty neat. I'm sure we can still optimize it more. Like I don't even need honestly AI code for this, but you can use it as a cleaning tool to feed less documents and so on. So that will be my last remark. So see you guys in the next one. Bye.